Afternoon, Donny Walker here. It's not chainsaws today, it's a nice nature walk. I'm up by the Nanaimo Lakes area on the Nanaimo River. This spot here, when you go up to towards Nanaimo Lakes, there's a spot called the Nanaimo River Camp, and there's a bridge across it where guys are going up hunting right now, deer hunting and whatnot, and it's also the watershed, so you're not allowed up there unless you got a permit. So I just hiked down this road here. So I used to come camping down here. And this spot here, there's a huge bend in the river. You can kind of see how the river comes down here. It goes in a big corner here, past these beautiful red cedars. Some nice old growth firs in here, and some nice cedars. So it does this big bend right here, and it's just a beautiful spot to come camping. I used to come camping down here when I was a young teenager, me and a bunch of buddies. I remember we came down here a few times and four-wheel drived into here and tented out. So just a beautiful area. I'm gonna do a little fishing right now. See if we can't catch a steelhead or a trout here. Let's see how we make out. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. I'm going to dinner at my folks' place tonight, me and Shelly. And my mom's cooking a duck, of all things. Nothing wrong with duck. Had it before, it's pretty good. It's all the way you cook it. So let's do a few casts, see if we can't get some. Nothing better than a day off hanging out in the woods. I'm going to look for a few mushrooms here today. Get some chanterelles around growing. And maybe take them to my mama's for dinner tonight. There's a lot of vehicles out here by a lot of the trails and hiking areas. So I think a lot of people are either out hiking or looking for mushrooms too. It's that time of year where people go out and gather wild mushrooms to eat and also to sell. Big money in mushroom sales. If you're really good at it, you can make a lot of money. Pine mushrooms, chanterelles, lots of different ones. There's a lot of varieties of mushrooms. In the Pacific Northwest here, there's a lot of very good edible ones, and there's a lot of poison ones. So be careful. Get a book and research it first before you even touch any or actually pick any, and especially eat them. I know a little bit about them. Basically enough to know the ones that are easy to pick, and I know they're good to touch and eat, like the chanterelles. They're a very nice tasting mushroom. Saute them with a little garlic and butter. A lot of people do them a lot of different ways. You see them in restaurants. A lot of people cook them different ways. I'm just using a spinner here. Like a red rooster. I like red rooster spinner. Probably won't catch anything, but why not, right? One thing about living on the Vancouver Island and the Pacific Northwest is I've never been without a fishing rod in my pickup for my camper. Always a fishing rod in the back seat. You never know when you want to pull over and try your luck and catch a nice little trout for a breakfast or for dinner or lunch. Years ago, my friend Magnus Johansson came from Sweden. It was Christmas, New Year's time, and I took him up to a spot fishing. Oh, hello. Hi, doggy. Oh, someone else is here. Some dogs have arrived. Cool. Anyways, talking about Magnus, yeah. So we went up to a spot, and it was like t-shirt weather, man. It was unreal between Christmas and New Year's. And back in Sweden, it would always be a foot of ice on the lake, probably. Anyways, I'm up this way, and I just talked to the gal at the gate up here. security guard. Because my dad used to live up this way. And I'm trying to arrange a permit to come up here and drive around for my dad to show me a bunch of the old areas he used to live in. Hey, watch it! I got a hook there. Oh, this dog's almost got my hook. Oh, that's okay. I still want to get the hook into them. So yeah, that's why I kind of came up here, and they're gonna get. I have to call Mosaic office to get a permit to bring them up here, so I can. You too. Take care, guys. Just had some nice people come by with their dogs. Beautiful German Shepherd, and they looks like a big poodle. So yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm gonna get some allowance or some permission to come up here and bring my dad and show me some of the old spots where he used to hang out as a kid. He used to fish in this river and a couple of small lakes up this way, Jump Lake and stuff, which is now the watershed. But I remember him telling me one time he went up to this spot. He'd walk up the railroad track to some just a small little lake, swampy kind of thing, and he would got 30 trout a day or something. Like, it would really pack back all these trout on this string to his mom's house, and she's like, "Oh, where'd you get all those?" He's like, "Oh, I don't, just this little pond up the road." And it's like, that's just too cool, eh? So yeah, it's a really beautiful area up here. As you all know, BC and Pacific Northwest is a beautiful area. The river's really high right now. As you see, normally the river will be kind of past those trees over there, just barely kind of trickling, but we've had a lot of rain in the last few days. It's been a lot of rain warnings and flood warnings in some areas. So people are, getting prepared with their pumps, and hopefully their basements don't flood out, or the roads too. We've had that happen. So yeah, one extreme to the other, eh? Huge hot summer, hottest ever. Now we're into our Pacific Northwest rain. And that's where I talked about the other day with the loggers, Hopefully they all got heated handlebar saws to keep their dainty hands nice and warm for the honey at night. They can still got some good feeling in their hand. And just good, healthy circulation. The newer saws these days, like the new stills with the spring mounts, are definitely a lot less anti-vibe to them. So a lot of the Husky guys are actually switching over to a few of the German saws now, which is cool. They've always been a good saw. I think Still's been one of the number one in the world for a lot of years for a reason. But I can't not Husky. I'm a huge Husky fan. I love the comfort of the saws, the way they fit the tree, the anti-vibe they've had for a lot of years. Disregarding the 2100 though, and a few of those old models. They weren't bad, but they just weren't as great as the newer ones. Spring mounts have made a big difference in chainsaws. Spring mounts don't lose their integrity of the rubber. The rubber mounts would either get too soft, get too spongy, or get too hard and make it vibrate more. I wasn't going to talk chainsaws today. I wanted to talk about nature. A lot of my friends are out this way deer hunting this weekend. It's hunting season. The girl at the gate there just said that someone just came out with a beautiful 2x2 rack. What'd you say it was, 138 pounds or something? Not a bad sized deer. There is elk up in this area too. A lot of elk here. Roosevelt elk. And Roosevelt elk are the biggest on Vancouver Island as they are in the world. And I didn't realize till someone actually told me years ago, they're actually named after Ted Roosevelt, eh? Wasn't he an American president? I should know that. I think I did social studies or whatever you'd learn that in school. Mind you, I went to school in one door and out the other. Haha. So anyways, I just wanted to come for a walk and I've been real busy. I was kind of sick for a couple of days. I'm feeling good now, and I just like to come out once in a while to nature and just have some fun, on my own. So I just bought this new little stand for my camera here, London Drugs, and it worked out okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna do a few more casts, then head her home, see what Shelly's doing, and maybe stop in and see Taylor. She's got her hips hurting. My daughter has a bit of back problems. We don't need to get into that, but poor girl. Got a couple of injuries from her soccer career years ago. And I'll drop by and say hi, see how she's doing. Then head out to the folks for some supper tonight and have a little visit. Probably go out in the shed with my dad and see what he's tinkering on. I think he was tinkering on an 08 that he built into a racing saw, and still messing with this one old McCullough. He's not very fast anymore, but who is when we get old? Nothing wrong with that. He's still got the wisdom, and we all respect old Bobby Walker. He can still build a mean saw, and I'll carry on that legacy. I've got a couple things in the fire right now. So I guess that's it for today. Y'all enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the day. If you're out in the rain today, I'm lucky it's not raining here. It really pounded down yesterday, but yeah, I'm gonna do a few more casts, see if I can get myself a salmon or trout. Shelly doesn't eat fish, but I do. Or I'll just give it to my dad and mom. Anyways, keep your saw in the wood. Nice talking to you all out there. Have a great day. Over.